It's day 6, as I sit at the window of my father's hospital room. It seems like I'm beginning to forget what life is like in the outside world. I can see the highway from my vantage point, cars and trucks speeding on their way to their destinations. Maybe the drivers are wondering about what's happening behind the mirrored windows of the hospital as they pass by. Did they know that there's a middle-aged man watching his father in the final few hours of his life's journey? I turn back to look at my father, with whom I have shared this small, sterile space since last Thursday. His condition is unchanged. His response is negligible. This particular bout of pneumonia has sunk in and accomplished its mission, doing the damage that it was meant to do. Now my father has only a few brief moments left on this grand but somewhat insignificant rock. I wonder sometimes what regrets he might have had. Did he want to see more of this rock? Was he happy? I wonder if he is contemplating these questions even now as he lies there, tubes in his nose, feeding him oxygen his body can't get on its own. My father was born 79 years ago on the prairies in Canada. He was privileged to be born in a country that could give him so many opportunities. As a boy born to a poor family, he did what was expected of him. He worked. He worked hard. Over my lifetime, I have heard countless stories about his jobs, about the people he worked with. Sometimes I would wonder if these stories were true. Sometimes these stories seem to come up from nowhere, somehow strangely and uncannily relevant to what was transpiring in my own life at the time. My father always made friends easily. He was never afraid to talk to strangers, a trait I certainly never inherited. Even now, my parents' sphere of influence encompasses so many people that I have simply lost count. Over the last several days, I have shared conversations with people I didn't even know who had been greatly impacted by the life and story of my father. I wonder if he understands that right now as his chest slowly moves up and down with his final breaths. This isn't the first time that we've been here. My father has faced many health challenges. In his younger years, those challenges forced him from professional labor. However, that wouldn't stop him from keeping himself busy. He was always building something, fixing something, baking something, or simply helping somebody. He was industrious, seeing potential in every situation, and he would never say no to a challenge. He got married. He and our mother had 2 sons, and still, he never said no. As the years went on and we grew up and moved on, his physical challenges increased, including a stroke that nearly paralyzed his entire right side. Not to be put down by this, he learned to adapt and became left-handed, giving him a new lease on life and a fresh perspective on the world. There are so many stories that I have that I can attest to the character and integrity of my father that I simply don't have the time to write down. I am sure that there are even more that I don't know. The quiet and kind things that he did when no one else was looking, never letting the right hand know what the left hand was doing. So I sit here, after years of stays in the hospitals, dealing with the stroke, flesh-eating disease, multiple infections, and a hip fracture, my mind whirling with the implications of each and every one of these punches. My father is a prize fighter, having taken down all his opponents. Now it is round 10 of what I know is his last fight, and I have had to watch as he took all the punches. He has fallen to the mat, and the ref has started the count. My father has always fought the fight, always come out on top, but each match took a little more out of him every time, and the human body can only take so much. If I have learned one thing from my father, it is the lesson that I can never stop fighting for what I believe in and what I love. I know I fall short of that bar every day, but the point is to try. Always try, because we will miss 100% of the chances we don't take. Thinking back on those stories my father told, I suppose it really doesn't matter if they were true or not. They paint a picture of my father that shows he lived a life full of memories, both good and bad. They provided an example that is both dignified and strong. Honestly, that's enough for me. The painting of my dad is nearly complete, and it is a masterpiece in its own right. One I would gladly hang in my own home for the rest of my life.